Hello everyone and welcome back to the another amazing live stream video. So guys, today I want to break down a question that is suddenly becoming a huge national conversation. Can the US military members refuse an order issued by the Trump or White House? It sounds simple, but the truth is layered, emotional, and tied deeply to America's history, and it's now caught in the middle of a political storm. So, guys, let's talk about thought in a way, in a real human way, the same way I would explain it to a friend over the coffee. So, guys, here is the most things people don't realize. Yes, service members can refuse an order, but doing that is one of the riskiest moves a soldier can make because the military starts with a one basic assumption: orders are lawful unless they are obviously illegal. This idea came from one of the Nuremberg trials after World War III, when Nazi officers tried to defend their actions by saying, "We were just following the orders." The world set a new standard. If an order is patently unlawful, like targeting civilians or committing a war crime, you are required to refuse it. But here is where things get complicated. Most real world orders aren't black and white like that. They fall into this huge gray zone where a soldier might feel uncomfortable, might caution it, but it's not clearly illegal. And by the time an order reaches a service member, a military lawyer, a JAG officer has usually already reviewed it. So, refusing an order in that gray zone, that's where the danger lies. Because if a troop refuses and the order turns out to be legal, they can be punished under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. In simple words, the risk sits entirely on the service member, and that's why you usually hear military lawyers telling service members don't jump straight to the disobedience. Ask the questions, get clarification, get legal advice if you can. So, guys, why this blew up now? Why is this suddenly on the front page of every political site? Why this issue is now being because six Democratic lawmakers, including Senator Mark Kelly, a Navy veteran and a former astronaut, recorded a video telling military members that their oath requires them to refuse illegal orders. They said, "You can refuse, you must refuse." And that triggered a massive response. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth called the video seditious. Vice President J.D. Vance said, "If the president hasn't issued illegal orders, then urging troops to defy him is itself illegal." The Pentagon even opened an investigation into Kelly. Kelly says the group was simply standing up for the Constitution. And Slotkin said the video came because military officers were approaching them privately with the concerns about certain operations, things like the US action in the Caribbean and Venezuela. But, guys, here is the issue: the video doesn't talk about any specific illegal order, and that's what legal scholars are debating. Whether reminding troops they can refuse the order crosses into the interference with the military discipline. So, guys, here is the heart of dilemma. Honestly, this is where the human part hits because imagine being a service member in that position. You are trained your whole life that obedience is the backbone of the military. Your chain of command is scared. And suddenly, political leaders are fighting on TV about whether or not you should follow these certain orders. So, guys, they are stuck in the middle of constitutional debate you never asked for. Experts say that's exactly the problem with the video. It doesn't appreciate the impossible spot in put troops in because the military isn't designed for guesswork. It's designed for the clarity and orders. And the law backs that structure. Orders come presupposed as illegal. Disobedience is considered the last resort, and if you refuse and the judge later decides the order was legal, you bear the consequences. So, guys, what exactly service members can do? What can troops actually do? They can ask for a JAG opinion, they can seek clarification, they can voice discomfort, and in truly unlawful scenarios, the kind that are obvious and they must refuse. but anything outside that small category, that's where their career, freedom, and future are on the line. So the answer to the question, can military members refuse orders, is this: yes, but only in very narrow and extreme cases. And doing so carries the huge personal risk unless the order is clearly illegal. And that's why this whole controversy around the video isn't just political noise, it's touching one of the most sensitive nerve centers of American democracy. How the military stays loyal to the constitution while staying out of the political battles. It's a fine line, and right now it's under a spotlight like never before. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think lawmakers crossed the line, or were they right to remind troops of their oath? I will be watching this story closely as it unfolds and will keep you updated on this. Thank you so much for joining. And if you like this breakdown, kindly give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for such amazing breakdowns on the US politics. I will see you guys in the next stream.